first I was thinking this was some old war movie. As soon as I zoom in though, like, I recognize this treehouse immediately. This is from closer to the end of this movie, and this, if I'm right, this movie was 2017. I loved every second of it. This guy down here in the white wife beater shirt, it's the dead giveaway. This is Logan. Oh my god. Alright, my first instinct is that this is an Indiana Jones movie, although these are basically just rocks in the desert, so this could be anything. I'm gonna go with my hunch and guess Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. So we have a young boy playing the violin. Honestly, I'm kind of clueless with the second one. I'm just gonna go with Slumdog Millionaire. Well, I typed the wrong movie in, but I'm not thinking it's Slumdog Millionaire anymore. It's clearly something a little more modern with the cinematography. Of course, it takes place in the Old West. I don't think it's right, but I'm going to go with Django Unchained. It was right. I still don't remember a boy playing a violin in this movie, though. My house, my rules, my coffee. My first thought goes to a recent movie, 2019, and there's a sequel coming out this year. I only saw the movie once, so I'm not completely confident in that, but I'm going to go with Knives Out. That's how it's done. Well, that's not helpful at all. So we have an open desert with basically nothing. My first reaction is the Tree of Life, so just from the color tones, I'm thinking Mad Max Fury Road, but I know we already had that one, so it's definitely not that. I'm trying to figure out what these animals that these creatures are riding are. Thinking it might be animated. I haven't seen this movie, but I'm thinking it might be Johnny Depp's Rango. Should probably get around to seeing that. So we are at the border of Mexico. So there's a couple different movies that come to mind. My first reaction would be We're the Millers, although I do not see an RV in this shot, so I'm thinking otherwise. So then my mind goes to another Coen Brothers movie that I love. If I'm right, this is the part of the movie where Josh Brolin crosses the border with stolen money, and that is No Country for Old Men. Well, now I feel really stupid for that RV comment. Now I'm 100% sure this is We're the Millers. That is infuriating. So we got a newspaper stand. I'm gonna zoom in because I feel like the headlines might be a giveaway here. Scott of Panarctica. Lotta Scott. Anastunna? I'll be honest, none of this is looking familiar to me. The general aesthetic is making me think Groundhog Day, so I'm just gonna go with that. Alright, well, we got somebody walking on the street. Looking at these license places and the general structure, I'm guessing this is somewhere more based in Europe. Trying to figure out whose head I'm looking at. This is definitely something in the 90s. I'm once again kind of drawing a blank with this one. I think it's way off, but just to have something down, I'm going to put The Usual Suspects. Well, this doesn't seem to fit with any of the previous ones. This is not looking familiar at all. I might be in trouble. I don't even know who this actress or actor is. I'm still convinced this is a 90s movie, so I'm thinking something space-related. I'm just going to go with Apollo 13. Well, now I have a cast of characters to work with, but I am still not recognizing anything. I'm wondering if this balding guy on the right is Bill Murray. Once again, I don't think this is right. I'm going to go with Scrooged. Well, the bald man is not Bill Murray. It seems like we're in the same setting with the same characters. So to go with another 90s movie I haven't seen, I'm going to go with Clue. Okay, well, at least now I can work with this. So I recognize Julia Roberts, and I'm pretty sure that's Hugh Grant on the right. It's not Bridget Jones' Diary. I think that's... Oh my god. I'm trying to remember every Julia Roberts movie I've ever heard of. I'm gonna explode. Oh my god. Was she in You've Got Mail? I don't think either of them were in that. I'm convinced it's 90s. I'm convinced it's a rom-com, but I have no clue what this is. I got no choice, but I'm just gonna go with Pretty Woman. Oh boy, so we got a 4:3 aspect ratio. So either this is something really artsy or it's definitely from 1960 and before. I'm having a hard time seeing who this butler figure is. My knowledge of classic cinema is very limited, so I'm going to go with something a bit more recent that fits the aesthetic and say The Tragedy of Macbeth. Schwab's Pharmacy. I was really hoping for a bounce back today after that embarrassing Notting Hill fail yesterday, but it's not looking good again. If I don't know the name Schwab's, I'm guessing I might not know this movie. Just going with some of the classics, I'll just go Citizen Kane. Okay, so this is old school Hollywood. I see the Paramount Pictures. This actually might be more recent. If it is what I'm thinking, this is David Fincher's most recent movie. Came out on Netflix and it was nominated for Best Picture. I saw it twice and I thought it was boring both times, but Gary Oldman was awesome in it. My gut is telling me this is Mank. I'm in deep trouble. I'm guessing I should recognize this guy, but I don't. Just to go with another classic that I really don't know much about, On the Waterfront. Please be nice in the comments. So we have some ballroom dancing. I can't really see the faces of these actors. I'm thinking the guy might be Clark Gable. I haven't seen it in almost a decade, but I'll go with It Happened One Night. So I have one last guess. It's from another classic, 1942. I have to guess this because if I don't, and it is the answer, I will never live with myself. I'm going with Casablanca. Sunset Boulevard. I know it, never seen it. Framed is not treating me well these past couple days. I don't like Mondays. Me neither. So this is scratched into a blue wall. My first thought of something being scratched into a wall would be something that takes place in a prison, but given the paint, I'm thinking this might be more of a high school-based film. From the quote itself, I'd be thinking something along the lines of Garfield. I don't want to guess that. So to go with a high school comedy, I'll just start with Napoleon Dynamite. Vote for your prom queen. So I was right about the high school. This aesthetic is actually making me thinking it's a bit older, possibly 80s. It's vandalized, so something rambunctious is definitely going on. A few different things come to mind. Part of me wants to go with a comedy, but since it's surrounding the idea of a prom queen, I'll go even further back to the 70s and go with Carrie. Alright, I got my confidence back. I recognize this suit right away. We are in a high school. There's a reason that we're showing stuff being defaced because we are dealing with kids in detention. And this guy leaning over the water fountain right here, I know this is the guy watching over the 5 kids stuck in the library on a Saturday. I was on the right mindset with the 80s. This is The Breakfast Club. So we have an older woman that is either blind or wearing 3D glasses. My first thought goes to Everything Everywhere All at Once, but since that's such a recent movie, I'm not sure if Framed would use it. But honestly, my train of thought is not going anywhere else right now, so I just gotta go with it to start. We got a drummer in a basement. Can't quite tell who the actor is. I'm thinking of a lot of movies with drummers, but none of them look relatively close to this. It's not Whiplash, it's not Sound of Metal, it's not Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. I'm kind of drawing a blank here. I'm getting a vibe this might take place in the 70s, so I'm just going to go with Almost Famous. Okay, this guy's sitting in the center of the frame across the table. I recognized him instantly because I literally just watched this movie last Saturday. This is when Adam McKay really changed his craft and started making movies that were nominated for Best Picture. And in this case, winning Best Screenplay. This is The Big Short. So we start off with an ominous look at a very golden Los Angeles. At least I'm pretty sure that's Los Angeles. Guessing this came out late 2000s, early 2010s. I know I said Los Angeles, but the only thing that's coming to mind is Denis Villeneuve's Enemy, which takes place in Chicago. I'm just picturing that giant spider walking across the city skyscraper when I see this image, so I'm just going to start with that. So we have 2 people waiting by an elevator. Framed loves to show me the back of people's heads, trying to see if there might be something in the reflection of the window that gives it away. I'm pretty sure it's wrong, but just to have an educated guess to get to the next frame, I'm going to put The Social Network. This looks vaguely familiar. I'm guessing I do know this movie, even though I have no idea what to guess right now. All of these cast members have familiar faces, but I can't think of what any of their names are. They all look like supporting cast members. This might be something more lighthearted. Once again, I'm going to put an educated guess I'm sure is wrong just to get to the next frame. 500 Days of Summer. Oh my god, I do like this movie, but I have not seen it since the year it came out. That's Amy Adams setting up a computer. You can see a little hand in the frame right here. Somebody wearing a red shirt, because that person in the red shirt is Joaquin Phoenix, and this is actually his love interest in the movie. Not Amy Adams, but the computer. This is her.
Ooh, right off the bat, we have some Boy Scouts. My initial thought goes to Moonrise Kingdom, even though I know that treehouse is comically high and would not fit in this one frame. We got a red team and a green team. I'm thinking this might be the beginning of a movie where a young boy is being trained to be a Nazi. I'm thinking it might be the opening training camp from Jojo Rabbit, so I'm going to start with that.
Oh, I definitely know this. The tones and the ominous atmosphere definitely give me a David Fincher vibe. Might not be that. I definitely know this, and it's going to drive me insane that I'm not thinking of what this is at the moment. The first thing that comes to mind is Funny Games. We have a professor giving a lecture to a few students. It's not David Fincher. I believe this is a Denis Villeneuve movie. I believe that professor that we're seeing the back of the head of is Amy Adams. This was a 2016 Best Picture nomination. This is Arrival.